membawa kita kepada persoalan bagaimana kita mendidik masyarakat kita. Macam mana adakah kita faham bagaimana konsep maruah ini bermula dan bagaimana ia dimanifestasi dalam cara lelaki melayan wanita ataupun cara even wanita sendiri melayan wanita lain. Jadi saya akan pergi pada Ruby dengan untuk bercakap tentang projek seni This Body Is Mine dan bagaimana ia bermula dan sebagainya, dan bagaimana projek ini seakan satu penentangan atau untuk melawan budaya yang menjuruskan keganasan ini. Silakan.
Thank you. Allow me to speak in English because I think I'll murder the Malay language if I spoke in Malay. So I think all of this started as can you hear me? Okay. All of this started because as a female artist, my voice is often told to not provoke or to say something that would fit into the Malaysian society. This one cannot lah, a bit too sensitive. That one cannot do, then somebody else will voice out and say something wrong. So when the whole typism issue came up, what happened was that the initial reaction, right? Someone on Facebook created a Facebook page and said, we are going to spray paint any women that shows too much of skin. What frustrated me more than the boys who initially did the thread was the fact that government officials, there were religious officials from the Batu Hills community who chose to respond to it, not by saying this is wrong, by saying this thread has validity to it because women indeed should dress better. So I was completely astonished by that remark actually, and I had friends who are in the Malaysian media scene, so they went for the press releases and came back and told me certain things that happened in the press release. And it's interesting how they had a press release to say this is the specific kind of sari blouse you're allowed to wear. These are the measurements. So as a woman in a cultural society where you've got skinny girls, you've got bustier girls, what fits a smaller size girl would not fit me the same way. I would look absolutely, in society's terms, not decent. So how can you give measurements in a press conference, right? And if you look at typism itself, if you have visited the festival, there's so many issues that we need to deal with. First of all, cleanliness. The first thing you see in the festival, there's just so much of rubbish everywhere. No one's talking about recycling. No one's talking about making the streets cleaner. Second thing is, you still find people sleeping in the streets. So there are people coming, there are devotees coming from entire country, coming to KL and then not being able to find a place to just sleep for the night. No one has ever raised these issues, right? And thirdly, there's so many social problems that goes on in Batu Caves itself. One of it would be things like pickpocketing. You've got public drinking. You've got boys who are like mat rempet that come around and just cause a lot of chaos. So these are the problems that I really think we need to sit and talk about. But instead, the religious committee in Batu Caves chose to respond to a thread about skin, about sari blouses. So you just compare these two situations, right? And I just found it like, what, seriously? Don't we have other things to discuss about? Don't we have other things to solve in our society today? And it was one of Sivanandini's posts that I got inspired by, because she posted about how a few generations ago, when our grandparents wore sari blouse or wore a sari, they never actually had a blouse. It was the British colonial invasion that said the sari without the blouse is a bit too provocative or indecent, that we later on adapted to the British style of clothes, right? So I don't think there's a Tamil word to even say blouse, yeah? So it's still referred to as sari blouse. So if these guys are threatening us and saying that it is not cultural of us to show skin, your grandmothers did it completely differently, right? So are you saying your grandmother was not cultural enough for you at that point of time? So with all of this, having all of this in mind, I kind of fused a few things, right? I said, I approached a few women and said, would you dare go backless and actually not wear the sari blouse the way your grandmothers did? And if these guys are threatening to spray paint us, I thought I might as well paint these women. At least it would create a more artistic, a more prettier, something prettier to look at. And then it just became, it took a life of its own, right? And yeah, so I'm quite excited about that.
Have you seen? Oh yeah, we have a slideshow of what Ruby did.
So Nalina was one of the first person I approached. So if you know Nalina, you would know her as this girl who wears the bright yellow T-shirt, in birthday protest. And despite, okay, let's put political views aside here, right? But you've got to agree that for you to march for your country takes a lot of guts, right? And she is doing that. So whether I support Bersih or not, I support her guts for her to do something that she believes in instead of like ranting over something over Facebook. So I went up to her and I said, would you, because she's also a classical Indian dancer and she knows Hinduism in depth. And so I asked her, would you embody Kali, which is the fierce aspect of the goddess Parvati. And I asked her to bring it out in the sense that if Kali walked the streets of Thaipusam, would these guys threaten to spray paint us that way?
So, yeah. So
maybe you want to share something, Nalina?
Yeah.
Actually, I've never really brought this. So I've been also talking a lot about the issue and stuff, but I've never really brought up the part where when Ruby asked me whether I was comfortable not wearing a sari blouse. So since we're talking about it now, I might as well. So when Ruby came up to me on Facebook Messenger and asked me if I was okay to appear pictures without a sari blouse, the first thing that came to my mind was I have a I'm starting a political career. What would people say? And it could be quite frightening as well. But then coming back to how the sari was actually born before the British came in and stuff, and so if it was not a wrong thing back then, why is it wrong now? And it is how it's supposed to be born after all. So like I'm half Malayali, and the Malayali women are well known to be even topless back then, not even with the sari covering the chest, but totally topless. And no one talks about it right now. No one wants to talk about it openly and proudly, or even just to discuss about it. So then I had all these thoughts in my mind when Ruby asked me whether I was willing to go without the sari blouse. I think I'm kind of rambling right now. But so it's very how do I put it in words? Why do I need to think so deeply about appearing in pictures without a sari blouse? Yeah. Why do I even have to question that in the first place?
I think it's important to talk about, because it's part of your culture. I think to me it's important how Indian women today feel about this. Yeah, so thank you very much, Nalini. So maybe you can talk about your...
So I will briefly tell you a little bit about the concept. So with Hinduism, there is a concept of Trimurti, which means the tree foundation, and it's the masculine aspect of it. And what I chose to pursue was the feminine aspect of it. So with the three goddesses, you have the creator, preserver, and destroyer. And you have, so in the Hinduism names of it, you have Lakshmi, Saraswati, and also Parvati. For Parvati, I chose to use a different manifestation to bring out the anger. In this particular picture here, it is the dancer is embodying the goddess Lakshmi. So as you can see, she has lotuses in her arms, and she's got an owl staring in her back. And the significance of a lotus, it's something that our Asian culture has used even with Buddhism, right? They use it a lot. It is to signify that a flower in the muddiest, dirtiest, most unlikely environment can still grow out and be something quite beautiful, right? And that's what kind of the hope that I wish upon young girls in Malaysia, that no matter what your society says of you, even if it's not conducive, please, please rise above it all. So with this particular photo shoot, we literally went to an addict's den in the back alleys of Masjid Jami and kind of put ourselves in a dangerous situation too. But it was to signify symbolically what the whole, what we're trying to show. So if you, so in here you can actually see that she matches. We often think that goddess means very feminine, must duduk kaki all, must be, you know, very polite and everything. But what people don't realize is that in Hinduism, they always talk about energies. They always talk about the values that the goddess represents. So if you study the holy text, there is nothing about the hair length or amount of skin that she's showing, but rather the different elements in her picture, right? So if you kind of look at the character of what Lakshmi is supposed to embody, when she has an aim, she reaches up to that aim, and she does not let anything else come in her way. So we shot this as well in the middle of the streets. Had to like run in and take the shot within like 5 seconds and come out. So this is Nalina's pictures. I think she was one of the favorite. She had some of the favorite photos. So to bring out Kali, I painted a tiger, a skull with cigarettes, and this was a lot more provocative compared to the first picture. Because Kali is a goddess that is often feared by the Indians. Kali is really strong, she's aggressive, she's almost violent, she's known to have burnt down cities, right? And she breathes fire. So, to bring out these elements, I had Nalina actually kind of psychic herself even before going for the photo shoot, and you can see that character coming out. She's almost a different person here. How she brought out the element of fierceness just with her looks and her eyes. And Kali is not known as she's actually Mother Earth, or she's represented as Mother Earth. So we shot this in Sungai Gabai to represent Mother Earth and nature and all of that. So yeah, this was to quite literally signify the rage. So this was the shot that we took to want to show that really, this is how Kali would look like if she walked our streets. Really, do you dare go and threaten her? Because this is the goddess that you go and pray to. And these are the women that embody those values. So you are very comfortable praying to that goddess, but you are at the same time, ironically, very comfortable threatening her at the same time. So I don't understand how the Indian culture kind of like worships the embodiment of it, but rejects when a human person right now that embodies those values that are preached in these texts. So this was shot in Bricksfields. Radhimala embodies the goddess Saraswati, and I wanted to take this shot to show that so Saraswati is the goddess of creation, arts, music, and everything graceful. So what I really wanted to show is that despite the whole world looking at you and probably talking about you, be graceful in everything that you do. If it's arts, be graceful in that. If it's doing this forum, be graceful doing it that. Don't stop and look at the society judging you. Rather, just be firm in your stance and go ahead to do what you have to do. So you can see how she stands in the middle of the road, completely blind to the traffic, the chaotic traffic that is going around her. But she stands very firmly in her ground, holding the correct aesthetic pose. And that takes a lot. And it takes someone who has been practicing the art for many, many years to be able to do that confidently. So, and this particular picture is, I wanted to highlight the concept of duality. That is something that we no longer discuss in today's society. If you look at the Greek goddesses, if you look at the Hindu goddesses, they always have the dark side of their character, right? So, which is why the goddesses always got angry. If goddesses were perfect, why would they have a negative energy? Because they mirrored us as human beings, right? So, we often speak about the good parts of these goddesses, but we no longer address the negatives, the shadow aspects. And as human beings, we cannot run away from that. We are not 100%. We are always a work in progress. But understanding your shadow aspects will lead you to live better lives, and I believe in that. And so part of with Kali as well, and with Saraswati as well, sexuality is actually a big part of who they are, but the Indians don't like to talk about it because it's too sensitive, right? So that's why she kind of like seductively calls up to the viewer in this picture, and she has a black swan peeking over her shoulders. So if you have watched the movie The Black Swan, this is kind of a contemporary snipping in to represent that issue.